Yeah, I'd add one thing to this, which is customer. It's really being focused on what the customer absolutely needs, both existing and new, and not focus, but focus explicitly on the customer and what they need, and then of course the things that keep you going. And obviously, one of the things that we've done is to look at, for bigger companies, when they're spending money in IT, what goes away during recessions, and what persists during recessions. And interestingly, every single CIO of a large company that we spoke with said the one thing that cannot be touched is cyber, which I thought was interesting. It's like every one of them had the same comment, in fact, which was that, at least for big companies now, to reduce by a nickel their budget for cyber, they would need to get not only CEO approval, but board approval to do it. So they take it very seriously. And I don't see why that should be any different, independent of size of customer.
And I think that's a good transition point. So, Michelle, I loved your perspective. So, in uncertain times, like the scrutinization of IT costs, right, whether they're cyber or not, how do you evaluate technology purchases, or what are their particular areas that you look after?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it still goes back to, what Raj was talking about in that model, and that's really figuring out what you have to succeed as a business. And I think first off, you have to do that ruthless prioritization to make sure you're only working on those critical things that drive you through the uncertainty. So before you even think about spending a dime on technology purchases, you have to think about, what do you get rid of that's not critical, that's not driving productivity or value creation, or not cutting down on work. So once you've kind of done that prioritization, then I think for me, it's pretty simple. I'm big on looking for processes and tools that are really multi-purposes. Like, I like Swiss Army knives, right? In these times, I think if you've got a tool that can solve multiple challenges or pain points, particularly if they do that across more than one team, they're super valuable, particularly in uncertain times when, IT costs get under scrutiny. A great example, and I'm kind of tool agnostic, but I'll just use this as an example. Atlassian, right? We commonly think about using that for ticketing by engineering teams, but you can take tools like Jira and Confluence and you use it in other teams that need workflows or project management or communication platforms. I've used it in finance for approval workflows and things like that. I'm not a big fan of point solutions, so I do my best to try to avoid any of those, or things that lock you into a single ecosystem, right? I like tools that can be flexible no matter what other tools I use in the future. I think in uncertain times, you need that operational flexibility for your business. So you have to choose partners who respect that, particularly if you're still growing and scaling. And I think platforms that have multiple APIs into a broad range of other platforms are also critical. And then I really say, this is a time to look to business partners who are flexible on pricing and terms. Don't be afraid to renegotiate with your vendors. And don't be afraid to give something to get something. If you got a vendor you're really happy with and you're in it for the long haul, like, go back to the table and renegotiate. Be willing to give them a little bit longer contract in exchange for better pricing. They're looking to lock in through times of uncertainty too.
Interesting. Okay, well, now let's flip it a little bit. So kind of coming back to Gary's point of, when we're taking that critical eye, we're looking at all the key, focus areas where it either is introducing friction or it's not providing as much value as we'd hoped when we had made that investment. What are some of the areas that you continue to invest in, regardless of the economic environment that's unfolding, right?
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.